This one, I'm not really going to talk too much. Wasn't normal.
And this is what shocked her, I think. About that, I was like, bro, if we don't need to get him on tape.
Oh, anyway, now you want to try.
Right. Thank you.
He opens the gift. You remember?
Damn right, I remember.
It was
a step by step.
Yeah, step by step.
We covered on 2 stories. That's it. The lawyer.
Oh, lawyer, Mr. Cool.
Real journalism. Just tell me in one word, because I know how we can get past the one word, of what you just think about just the film.
Well,
oh shit.
Okay, one word. Touching. That's the word. Touching.
Touching. It touched you.
It touched me. It did. It did.
It touched me.
And this is a problem that's happened in the city, in
city
in Boston. Well, okay. That's where it took place at. That was the backdrop.
Okay, I got you.
So this is though I see what you're saying. It's an international issue.
Gotcha.
You know, but when dude looked at one of the lists and found out that one of the priests was just around the corner, man.
Around the corner from his house?
Yeah.
Right.
He saw the address.
Hold on. Because we can get into it. Now. What I didn't notice the first time, how we talked about when I texted you earlier about the first 10
minutes?
Yeah. Or 10 pages.
10 pages.
The first scene, after watching it again, I thought it was so great, man. Because
why?
It's discussing right off the jump.
Oh yeah.
An incident.
Right.
Regarding one of the priests.
Mm-hmm.
Now Sheila, you know what a good work the church does in the community. I give you my personal guarantee, but I'm going to take Father out of the parish, and this will never happen again. We'll just be another moment, Paul. Of course, Father.
I'm like, man, what he said was so important to that scene. But he's a background. We can't really hear him, but we heard him. If it's just another person that maybe end up talking slightly in the background where you can barely hear them, we kind of tune that out.
Right.
Because they're not on screen.
Right.
So that part I took note of in the first scene. And I just thought the first scene was so good.
How's that going?
The mother's bawling and the uncle's pissed off.
That's what I admired again after watching it again after the first time. Now, what did you think? Because you said it was touching.
Well, let me talk about the first scene too.
Okay, cool. Give me your first feedback. Because I thought the first scene was. I thought the opening scene was amazing.
They used in the opening scene the first 3 minutes of that movie. Well, the first 20 seconds or so. They used my favorite opening.
Oh yeah, that what you texted me. I remember
that is my favorite opening. Is when the camera is tracking behind somebody and they're walking through a hallway or they're walking on the street, or it says older officer, and the older cop was just real nonchalant, real like he's been there, done that. He's seen what's gonna happen. This priest come in, he is in the interrogation room. He's not even being interrogated. He's just waiting for his lawyer to come.
It's gonna be hard to keep the papers away from the arraignment.
What arraignment? You can tell Father Gig and it won't be much longer.
But the part that totally just pushed off my radar is when the priest walk out of the police station, walk down those steps, and he's walking like he's cool as hell. The priest, like y'all can't touch me.
He knew what was up.
He knew what was up.
It's like
that was in the 70s.
He knew he wasn't gonna get touched.
Man, he got in that Lincoln in the passenger seat, had his hat on, closed the door. Lincoln slowly pulled out.
open. Okay. Open the scene I thought was great. Did you see the scene with the old man? That old girl, she walked up to the door, asked for the man, and he the one that came to the door. And she started questioning him.
That was weird.
Bro, what did you think about that?
Your father, Paquin?
Yes, that's right.
I'm Sasha Pfeiffer from the Boston Globe.
Okay.
Could I ask you a few questions?
He put a brand new perspective in it. If though
You talking about the old guy?
The old guy.
Right,
he put a brand new perspective on it. If though you were in it, then this is something that we talked about over coffee.
Right. This was normal.
This was normal.
Sure, I fooled around, but I never felt gratified myself.
Right. But you admit to molesting boys at St. John the Baptist?
Yes, but I want to be clear. I never raped anyone. There's a difference. I should know.
How would you know?
I wasn't.
I'm sorry. Who you?
Bonnie, who are you talking to?
Father
And he was like, and this is what shocked her, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it happened to me.
It was so normal to him. It was like if I invited you to a cigar lounge and you had never smoked before, but that's something that we do. You talk to somebody and you would be like, yeah, I mean, I go with the guys, but I'm not really into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I go with the guys.
Right.
I do it.
I do it.
But that don't mean I just
Yeah, that
love
don't
it.
mean that I'm thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
And everything
But
like
I do
that.
do it though.
But
He
what
made that
happened-
clear.
Yeah,
I do
do it. Yeah. I dabbled in it or something. Okay, let me ask you a question now.
Okay, what's up?
What do you think
Holler at me.
about the message that I got?
Delighted to be here. If you could tell me your name as we go around, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
Remember the director. His name
Yes,
is Vine.
yes.
Remember the first project. I'm gonna introduce myself. He at the round table with all of the reporters and editors. I'm gonna introduce myself. It's a little bit about my story. They talking. Gets to get back to him again. So what's up with the Catholic priest?
The fact remains, a Boston priest abused 80 kids. We have a lawyer who says he can prove law knew about it, and we've written all of 2 stories in the last 6 months. This strikes me as an essential story to a local paper. I think at the very least, we have to go through those documents.
You know what I'm saying? Like there is obviously a dichotomy between Catholic and Judaism. So the fact that he came in and one of the first programs that he wanted to put together is to put a spotlight on the Catholic Church.
And knowing the fact that that lawyer had more evidence and he just didn't feel like we covered on 2 stories. That's it. Because he said, have we done any real
investigative
research?
Right.
And they was like,
yeah.
To them,
To
them they have.
But he took it to a whole
he
nother
was like,
level.
no.
He said, but what you think about that? What do you think? Did it even cross your mind that it was a Jewish guy who was really putting the spotlight on the Catholic Church as his first priority?
I didn't look at it that way.
I
knew, because I knew his Walter, Michael Keaton character, when he was walking on a golf course with his buddy, that he was giving him some information. So he was like, the new boss for the Globe is a single never married,
That part.
Jewish
That's what sparked
guy
it. Yeah.
who didn't like baseball.
That's what sparked my
And-
thinking about that. That line right there.
And I didn't look at him as like in the mindset of thinking one group I know I'm about to go after first is the Roman Catholic Church. But I thought the evidence that they had was enough for him to do so.
The church will read that as us suing them. So will everybody else.
Good to know.
Gutsy call for the first day. That's one word for it.
Judging from what I've read, it doesn't seem like we've done a very thorough investigation into the Gagan case. Is that right?
Marty, in past spotlights had success in large part because they picked their own projects.
Would you consider picking this one? I'd like to challenge the protective order in the Gagan case.
You want to sue the Catholic Church?
We're just filing a motion, but yes.
You think it's that important?
Yes, I do.
That case, did you think it was as big of a deal? Did you think it was going to get as big as it gotten after when they first started working on it?
I find that this city flourishes when its great institutions work together.
Personally, I'm of the opinion that for a paper to best perform its function, it really needs to stand alone. We need to focus on the institution, not the individual priests. Practice and policy. Show me the church manipulated the system so that these guys wouldn't have to face charges. Show me they put those same priests back into parishes time and time again. Show me this was systemic, that it came from the top down. We're going after the system. I think that's the bigger story.
Bigger than 50 priests.
If it came from the top down, yes. Sometimes it's easy to forget that we spend most of our time stumbling around in the dark.
Public awareness. That's what spotlight means.
So you saying
People already knew about
so I
it.
won't lose track. So when it actually came out, the actual story, when the Boston Globe dropped it,
We already knew about it.
okay, you knew about it.
But what was your question?
But you didn't know how big of a magnitude it was. You probably heard of it because obviously the
No.
city people didn't know.
We did.
You knew it was
Seriously.
that big.
But it was hushed though. Who like the kid said, the when he held up sign.
I was 11, and I was preyed upon by Father David Hawley in Worcester. And I don't mean prayed for, I mean preyed upon.
They put that in the trailer too. He was like, I was 11, and he said, "How you gonna say no to God?"
So maybe it's a little weird when he tells you a dirty joke, but now you got a secret together. And so you go along with that too, because you feel trapped, because he has groomed you. How do you say no to God, right?
When he said that, basically what he's saying is, this is a priest, and he's befriending me.
Okay, so you somewhat knew of the story because of how big it got in real life. If they knew it was as big as it was, they wouldn't have dropped it. They wouldn't have just let it fall by the wayside. For when he found
You gotta
out,
go back and watch it.
no, they didn't know it was that big. Why didn't he dig as much as he did back then if he was 90 priests just in Boston?
I had no idea about any of this, so if you're suggesting that Father Gibbons and Father Callahan had in any way...
Gibbons and Callahan, I mean, they ran this place like the Navy. You really think they didn't know?
Yeah, right. The guy that he met dinner with, one-on-one, did hockey.
He played hockey here. And he was one of the better ones. He got a wife, kids, good job. About 10 minutes into the conversation, guy breaks down. You know, couldn't stop crying. Said he could never figure out why Father Talbot picked him. Father Talbot coached the hockey team. So, I guess we just got lucky. You and me.
Then he was like, man, this is a classmate of mine.
Yeah.
Somebody that I went to school with. I didn't know.
One of the guys in that meeting when they were at the school,
Right.
he said, after Michael said, well, why did you do it? He turned around and he said, why did you do anything? Because you knew too. Then Michael looked back and he was starting to remember a whole, like you could see it going through his head. Remember when he goes to the guy? And I don't remember what his character actually was. That's why I was saying it was getting complex because it was a lot of different characters. But he went to the guy's house. I think it was around Christmas time, and then he remember his wife answered the door. She was like, "Oh,
yeah, that's
hey."
more toward the end.
Yeah, and he was like, "Give me the damn paper."
He said, "You bring this to my front door. You come to my house with this." And he said, "Where was you at, Walter? Where were you?" Then he said, Walter just looked at him and said, "I don't know."
You were right, Bobby. We all knew something was going on. So where were you? What took you so long? I don't know, Jim.
That part at the end was the part that made me really see how complex this guy's character was.
It was 87 priests in Boston. They went back to that lawyer office, and the lawyer didn't want to talk. Then he said, right now, you about to tell me if it's 87 priests.
It's a new day and age. You got a new director. The director says to you, I don't want to talk about the individual cases. I don't want to talk about the individual priests. I want to talk about that it's a systemic problem. Right. I want to get it from the top and go all the way down. Now Walter is looking at it from a brand new lens. Now he's the main editor. He's not just a lackey,
a rookie.
Well, yeah, in the game no more 20 years ago. Now he has power. He can do something.